I'm finally like settled enough in my new place. I thought I would hop on and say hello. How's everybody doing? Oh yeah, I'm wearing my new hoodie. It's very comfortable. All my clothes are still packed up in boxes, so I haven't been able to really get to them yet. So I've just been wearing this hoodie like every single day since I got home. Oh gosh, what are you guys saying? How's the house feeling so far? It feels very good. Feels very good to be back home. I don't know, everything about Florida feels different. So it's nice to be back home. It feels correct. I had a very good time in Pittsburgh, but not, it's not Florida. I came back to Florida to visit for my birthday in March, and it was all just kind of overwhelming until I texted my manager. And I was like, I know I don't technically move until November, but I gotta go. I gotta go as soon as possible. So as soon as I got home from tour, July 1st, I packed up everything I had and just got the fuck out of there. Yeah, so what's going on with you guys? I have not been on here in probably 6 months. So although now that I'm home, I do want to get back to posting some more videos. I know I posted a little vlog for that from the last week in Pittsburgh, which was really fun. But that was a good time. I had a good time. Okay, let's answer some questions. How's the blackout going? The blackout's going great. I don't know if you guys can see it. It's a lot better than it was, that's for sure. There's only a couple more spots that I want to touch up before I think it's, and I kind of like that there's still a couple gaps. I might do some words or something in the weird spots. I don't completely know yet, but we'll see. I kind of just do stuff as it comes to mind. Have you seen Longlegs yet? Yes, I did watch Longlegs. So when I lived in Florida last time, my favorite tradition that I would always do was I would go to the theater. I would smoke a fuck ton in the parking lot, and then I would go watch a scary movie. And I would always do that at like late at night. You know, I would always go to the last showing, usually on a weekday, so there would be nobody in the theater. And that was what I always did. That was kind of my happy place. And so I was able to do that with Longlegs for the first time in 4 years, which was really nice. So I saw Longlegs a couple days ago, smoked my ass off in the parking lot, and saw it. It was very good. It was not what I was expecting. I will say that. I wasn't completely sold on it. There were a couple things where I thought, oh, okay, okay. But the first half of the film was immaculate. I think the setup of the film was set up in a way as though it was going to lead to a different outcome than what we got. If that makes sense. I won't spoil it for anybody, but yeah, it was interesting. But I really liked it anyways. I mean, it was still like, even though it wasn't exactly what I thought it was going to be, it was still better than all the other slop that's coming out right now. I love Oz Perkins. The Black Coat's Daughter is one of my favorite films ever. It's my winter film. I always watch it every time it gets cold outside. So I was very irritated though, because there was a group of guys that were a couple seats ahead of us that stole my sister and I's seat, actually. They were sitting in our seats, but we were so high, we didn't want to beef with like a row of like 8 guys. So we just went and sat in the back. But when they got up, they were like, that movie fucking sucked. That movie was garbage. And I was like, you shut your fucking mouth. You shut your fucking mouth. Because you know what? I wasn't thrilled about the ending either, but you probably don't even know why you hate it. You fucking bitch. So, fuck you. All right, sorry. I said I was gonna read questions and then I just ranted about long legs. Recommend. That's my overall review. Go see it. It's worth watching. It's a very beautiful, beautiful movie. So beautiful. All right. Think religious horror is getting a tad repetitive. Yeah. It's like, introduce something new to the genre or chill. Like, do something else. My thing is like, and create another entity, create a different entity, create something new. Satan and God are like, I've never been super fascinated with Satan overall. I've never thought Satan was that scary. If you want cheap thrills, yeah, sure. Throw in a demon, throw in the devil, throw in this, throw in that. But I've always been more fascinated by God as a concept. But even that, you have to get more creative, because it's this guy right here. Oh, my camera's mirrored. Sorry, I don't know what I'm doing. This guy right here. Yawn. He's tired. Do something else. No, I like religious horror. I just want it to be creative. I want it to be good. I don't know. I want it to be unique. You know, I don't know. That's a different video. That's a whole conversation in and of itself. Have you seen Maxine? Yeah, Maxine was. I hated Pearl. I don't like Maxine. X was the only one that I kind of liked. And that's just because of the setting, 70s porno horror. Like, come on. Even if with the worst plot possible, that setting and, thematic is going to be. So X is the best one in the trilogy, in my opinion. Do I have a cold? I kind of sound like I do after I smoke a pack in the night. No, I don't have a cold. I've been kind of hoarse since I got home from tour. And also like all the dust from moving and coughing, and I've been kind of fried. My voice isn't quite back to what it usually is, and also I'm, putting on my my sexy podcast voice right now, so that probably also has something to do with it. My favorite part of the Ethel Cain lore. I don't know, I kinda love it all. I mean, obviously, my favorite parts are the parts that I haven't put out yet because 'cause I'm kind of tired of Preacher's Daughter. I'm tired of singing it, I'm tired of thinking about it. I can't wait to get onto something else. But, I don't okay, if I had to pick a part of Preacher's Daughter that I think is my favorite, if we're talking story-wise and not musically, and we're using song names for, like, chapters or sequences as opposed to the songs themselves, I would say my favorite part of the song or my favorite part of the story is most likely House in Nebraska through Family Tree, which is funny because Western Nights is my least favorite track on the album, not because I don't like it, but because I don't like the way that I executed it last minute. I kinda just I didn't give it the love and attention it deserved. But even though it's my least favorite track on the album, that is my favorite stint. I also just have really fond memories of that stint. That was let's see, I wrote Western Nights and Family Tree kind of, like, within, I think, 2 weeks of each other, maybe even sooner, maybe even closer together. I wrote them both the first month that I moved into the car lot that I lived on in Tallahassee. And I was working on House in Nebraska a lot there, and I just have a really fond memory of that time span in my life. And so, I have this very fond memory of my best friend and I, we went and hooked up with this guy. Um, I'm an avid fan of threesomes. We all know this. My best friend and I went and hooked up with this guy in this motel, up in Georgia, and I remember smoking weed out on the balcony after he'd left with my best friend, and I was listening to the Western Nights demo because I just made it, like, a day or 2 before, and that really, like, solidified that song for me in my head, and then I got home and I wrote what Family Tree, and then I remember driving around with my another friend of mine, and she was, like, shooting some visuals for me, and we were doing it at the Family Tree demo, and the Family Tree demo was gonna be like a teaser for the record back when I thought I was gonna put the record out in, like, 2019. Um, and it was just a really fond time in my life. So, it was really cool. It was really cool, special time in my life. That was when Preacher's Daughter really started to take shape. So, um, alright. Ba-da-da, ba-da, ba-da. What are y'all talking? Oh my god, the comments, like, keep glitching. I can't read anything. Have you changed previous plans to make the next albums more slowcore? And is the Preacher's Wife and Preacher Mother storyline still the direction you wanted to go in? Um, Preacher's Wife and Mother of a Preacher will always be the end goal. I those are the big tent poles. That is the trilogy. That is the ultimate thing I'm working on. Uh, I'm gonna do a lot of other stuff in between then. Preacher's Wife probably won't come out until I'm, like, in my 30s. Preacher's Daughter took 4 years to finish. Preacher's Wife will probably take, I would assume, close to the same amount of time. And I still have other stuff to do before Preacher's Wife. I have to do the B-sides, which it's not really a surprise that I'm working on that. I have it's kind of like between starting Preacher's Daughter and putting out Preacher's Daughter, I put out Sad Music for Sad People, changed my artist name, put out Golden Age, and then put out Inbred. Like, there were a lot of projects in between the beginning and end of Preacher's Daughter. So, there's a lot of like smaller projects that are in between the big foundational tent poles of the trilogy. So there's going to be a lot of other stuff in between here and now. So Preacher's Wife and Mother of a Preacher will get done at some point. But I'm just like I've said, this is a project that's going to take up probably the majority of my life. My whole life. Like, from birth to death. It's going to take up a big chunk of my life. So I'm just, I painted myself into a corner a little bit with Preacher's Daughter. I got a little bit too excited, and I allowed myself to feed into the excitement of the people listening to the record. And, even me, I take my art I take it to heart a lot. I'm very close to it. But even me, I allowed a lot of kind of like outsider things to come in between me and the project, which has distracted me a little bit the past couple years. I haven't really made a lot of music. But now that I'm home, I'm hoping I'm going to be able to get back into it a little bit better. And so I think that is going to get me back on track, and then I can get back into exploring and, because the side projects are very integral to the main projects. The EPs that I make are a way for me to experiment with things that I want to do on the main records without putting it on the main record. Like, if you listen Unpunishable, I was practicing and trying some stuff out for Gibson Girl. Sunday Morning and Golden Age, I was trying some stuff out for Strangers. Inbred and Two-Headed Mother, I was kind of trying some stuff out for Gibson Girl and Ptolemaea and stuff like that. So it's kind of, the EPs are a place that I can kind of be a bit messier and throw around some ideas and then come back to the full-length record and kind of hone those ideas in. So the EPs are necessary. It's why I make so many. It's why I have so many side projects. I'm kind of just experimenting with stuff because I don't want the full big projects to be a mess. So I do a lot of experimenting. Do you think being closer in age to the titular characters of the trilogy will help you get in their headspace? 100%. I was very much in the headspace of, Ethel Cain, the daughter for Preacher's Daughter. It's immature. It's self-gratifying. It's a bit hedonistic, terrified, very anxious, very anxiety riddled. That was me making Preacher's Daughter. So I think it comes through on the record because of that. And I would imagine that Preacher's Wife will be the same. Mother of a Preacher is so far down the line, I'm not even going to try to comment on that because I don't know. She's a mystery to me right now. What was Michelle Pfeiffer practicing for? I don't know. That was a random song that I made with Aaron. I didn't produce that. It's one of the only songs in my category that I didn't produce. So that one was kind of a one-off. That one kind of stands out. I mean, even Knuckle Velvet, Frank produced that whole thing and sent it to me. and I sing over it, but it still kind of fits better in the world than I think Michelle Pfeiffer does. Michelle Pfeiffer's cute. I like it. Oh my God. Sorry. My computer's being silly goose. What do you expect from GTA 6? I've never played a GTA game in my life, so I do not know. Do you feel like Unpunishable and Punisher linked, or were the titles coincidental? Just coincidental. They are, yeah, they're completely different. I just kind of love that word. Punish is a great word, and all the words that revolve around it. Would you ever make a short film? Well, yeah, I want to be a filmmaker. I don't want to be in music forever. Music is not even my primary passion. I want to get into film bad. It's just a lot more expensive and time consuming, and I can't really do it on my own the way that I can. I don't, not to sound like a quitter, but there's a lot more that goes into making a film. So I kind of always told myself that I would just make music and try to make a career out of music first and then transition into film when the time is right. But I think that time is approaching sooner rather than later. So I'm excited. I need to get into motion pictures. Visuals are very important to me. And I've always been a little scared to dive in because I'm scared of disappointing myself. But, that's natural for every artist, and it's not an excuse to not do it. So. They should make an Outlast game about Ethel. Oh God, I want to do something with Outlast so bad. Red Barrels, hit me up, please. I would love to voice act something in Outlast or whatever. Val from Outlast 2 was a huge inspiration to me when I was creating Preacher's Daughter to begin with. I was playing that game probably like once a month, playing through the whole game. It's a phenomenal, phenomenal game. I really love Outlast. That thunder. That sounds so nice. How would you wait? What? Or that? Any tips on how to get better at writing? Right now, no. I don't know. Everything that I thought I knew about writing went out the window in the past 6 months, and I've had a very mind-boggling experience and with my relationship to writing and creating. I thought I knew what I was doing, but I realized I have no idea what I'm doing, which has been liberating and damning in a way. I've been in a really bad slump, and I'm not even quite out of it yet. I don't really know what's going on in my brain and whatnot. I think I've just gotten older, and I'm working with a new set of functions. I'm a whole new person. And whereas writing used to come easily to me, I think now I have to find a new way to let it be easy, because I'm trying to do it the way it used to be, and it's not. That door has closed. So I don't know. I don't really have any tips. I'm kind of stumped right now. I would just say don't stop. If you have to make a mountain of garbage that you throw away at the end, just do that. If you have to make a bunch of stuff that nobody ever sees until you get to something that you're okay with them seeing, do that. But I don't know. It's difficult. Um, would you consider doing a gear tour as far as all the stuff that you use to make music at home? I would maybe someday. Yeah, that sounds like fun. Once I get my studio unpacked and all my furniture set up and whatnot, maybe that would be kind of fun. Oh boy. Leon Kennedy or Chris Redfield? Baby, how many times do we have to go over this? Leon Kennedy. Chris Redfield is it's not doing it for me. Leon Kennedy. It's my husband. If Leon Kennedy was real, I would be on him like flies on shit. Let me tell you what. Yummy. Oh my god, that was the cringiest thing I've ever done. I'm so embarrassed. Anyways. Okay. Jesus fucking Christ. I loved Challengers. Challengers was great. Ever since I was 19 years old, I wanted to be in a throuple so bad. So bad. I don't know why. I've always wanted to be in a throuple where I have two boyfriends. Preferably one of them is my age and one of them is like in his 40s. But I've always wanted to be in a throuple. I love throuples. I love threesomes. I think three is a great number. So watching Challengers was a little bit, and Challengers isn't really a throuple film. It's more of a infidelity film. But I would love to be Zendaya in that. If I was Zendaya in that movie, I would just be like, why don't we all get married? There's a really simple solution to that problem in that film. ¿Por qué no los dos? You know what I'm saying? But whatever. Why are you back on Tumblr? Well, I tried to leave Tumblr and get off all social media, but I needed to keep Instagram because it's kind of the only place that I can share stuff now regarding like my art and my career. And unfortunately, society exists on the internet now. There's really no way that you can have a career, especially independently, in this industry and probably any industry without the internet, which is very depressing. But it's the reality of the situation. But then I just found myself on Instagram, which is garbage. So I thought, well, if I'm going to be on the Instagram, or if I'm going to be on the internet in some small way, I might as well get back on Tumblr, because at least the art on there is pretty and visually inspiring, and you know, at least I can engage with it in a way that does something for me, as opposed to just the brain rot on Instagram. So I got back on Tumblr, which has been nice because now I'm less on Instagram. Y'all, internet addiction is hard to beat. It's so terrible. It kind of like worries me, but it is what it is, I guess. At least there's pretty pictures on Tumblr that make me think about stuff that I want to create, as opposed to Instagram being what Instagram is. Favorite Twin Peaks character? I've never seen Twin Peaks ever. I've watched the first episode twice and I just can't do it. I've watched Fire Walk with Me one night while I was really high. That was cool. I don't know. I just can't get into it yet. Maybe I just can't get into it yet. I don't know. Um, Favorite childhood cartoon? Scooby-Doo. I love Scooby-Doo. I've been watching Scooby-Doo a lot recently. All right. Do you have any visual artist recommendations? Yes. So recently I've been very obsessed with Scott Barley. He did a film called Sleep Has Her House. Phenomenal film. It's definitely the kind of film that you get like super high, turn off all the lights in the house, turn up the soundtrack very loud, because he's also an ambient artist, so he did the soundtrack himself. Well, you don't have to get high. I just love to get high, but just in a dark room, and it is so captivating. I've really been inspired by slow cinema a lot lately. I've always kind of loved slow cinema, but I think the problem is everybody who's utilized slow cinema utilized aspects of slow cinema in more accessible films that you would like see in theaters or whatnot. I think that they've missed the mark on slow cinema, and think maybe it's just not for me, but the way that they execute it, it seems as I think with slow cinema, you have to, if you're going to be lingering on something, if you're going to be doing slow cinema and having shots that are like 5 minutes long, uninterrupted, what you capture needs to be intentional and specific. You have to have a strong vision to do slow cinema. And I think a lot of people who have utilized aspects of slow cinema do not have that vision. And I'm a fine one to talk. I've never made a film. It is most likely a lot more difficult than I would imagine it is. So that is rich coming from me, but primarily as an enjoyer of slow film, slow cinema, there are a lot of things I have seen. One thing that I love, and I don't want to put words in his mouth, but let me Google real quick to make sure I pronounce his name right. The director of Sharp Objects directed by Jean-Marc Vallée. Vallée. I don't speak French, so I don't know. But the director of Sharp Objects, I think, gets it. And I think that's why I love Sharp Objects so much, because there are aspects of slow cinema in his work, but everything that he lingers on, it either tells a story or it translates a feeling, an emotion. It is immersive. There's a lot of shots of ceiling fans in Sharp Objects, and that for me just does it right off the bat, because it reminds me of the hot, sweltering feeling of lying on your back, staring up at a ceiling fan, doing nothing. So maybe that it speaks to me because I relate to it. So maybe the aspects of slow cinema and other artists or directors' works that I don't get because I just don't get it. But I really do believe overall, if you're going to do slow cinema or even utilize aspects of slow cinema, you have to know what the hell you're doing. You have to know what to linger on. And Scott Farley, to go back to my original point and backtrack from my rabbit hole, Scott Farley, every shot is just delicious. He has a new film coming out soon that I'm very excited to watch. The stills from it look beautiful, but Sleep Has Her House and all of his other short works, delicious. I highly recommend. Love him. I've had the pleasure of being able to chat with him recently. I would love to work with him in the future. I think it would be so phenomenal. But yeah, I highly recommend Scott Farley's work. Sleep Has Her House is an incredible body of work. So please give it a watch. I think it's like $10 to buy on his website for the file. And then I bought the Blu-ray, of course. Are you a fan of Robert Eggers? The Viking one wasn't for me. Lighthouse, I enjoyed more conceptually as opposed to the way that he executed it. The Witch is a classic. The Witch is incredible. I love Rothko. I don't know that much about Rothko, but the couple pieces of his work that I've seen, I enjoyed. I think it's nice. Favorite Scooby-Doo character, Velma. I mean, come on. There's not even really another option there. How do I feel about Louisiana? I love Louisiana. Louisiana to me feels like a sister state. So Florida, very similar but very different. Culturally, so far apart, but I think that they're both beautiful in their own way. And I would say, specifically talking about coastal Louisiana and coastal Florida, and specifically Gulf coastal Florida, and more specifically Panhandle coastal Florida. North Florida from about Lake City to Pensacola, no further south than Gainesville. That is my Florida. Everywhere else, I could not care less about. I only care about that part of Florida. which I'm like even kind of hesitant to talk about nowadays because it's called the Forgotten Coast for a reason. Nobody lives here. Nobody, like, it is an untouched, ancient part of America. And I feel like it's slowly, I'm starting to see the telltale signs that it's about to be taken over and people are going to start coming in, which is very scary to me because it's been untouched my whole life. And I don't want people to come here and I don't even want people to know about it, but it's also very hard to not talk about it and to contain my love for it because it is everything to me. It's where I'm from. It is the reason that I am the way that I am. But, you know, this part of Florida is so beautiful. And I feel that same emotion when I go to Louisiana, you know, in the bayous and in the swamps and even downtown New Orleans, you know. New Orleans at its worst is still so many other major cities at their best. There's still so much culture and beauty there, despite, you know, consumerism and capitalism doing what it does in that city. I love, 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 love New Orleans. It's probably my favorite city in America. Yeah, I don't know. I love Louisiana, really and truly. Whoa, 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 whoa. The audio is a bit delayed. Okay, I don't know what to do about that. Sorry. Am I high? Not currently. I matched with you on Tinder in Tallahassee. You probably did. Probably did. Favorite Southern rapper, Flo Milli. Flo Milli, Mobile, Alabama. Come on. I love Flo Milli so much. She's so pretty. She's so good. God. Her song Weak. I think that came out when I was living in Alabama and I was listening to it like every day for a month. So good. Flo Milli shit. Oh, he coming up way too pussy. I hope you don't think he was getting his pussy on. He like his bitches psychotic. Sit on his face and explain why I'm toxic. How you talk shit but ain't backing it up? Yo pussy waxing it back to the club. How do you feel about tongue blowing up on TikTok? Is it? I mean, it's a really good song, so. Oh, I forgot about that song. Wow. That was a fun one. I think I wanted you dead, fell as an angel, just to please no matter where you want it. Fighting my way up to your tongue so I can die upon it and show you what it really means to need somebody. Oh, I like that song. I'm gonna have to go listen to that. Do you listen to Salem? Yeah, I love Salem. I was listening to Sears Tower a whole lot about a month ago. So good. And the Starfall video, when they're storm chasing, it's like so good. So good. Any other rap you enjoy? Buttress, fucking A1 rapper right there. She came to the New York show and we got to hang out a little bit afterwards, which was really fun. Such a sweetheart, such a genius. So cool. Yeah, I love her. I have been listening to Buttress since high school, and I used to DM her and be like, "You're so cool, I love you." So I've like known Buttress for a decade next year, which is crazy to me. But yeah, she's so sick. She's so sick. So cool. So sweet. Love her. How do you feel about foot tattoos? I don't have one. I don't want one because I feel like that would hurt so fucking bad. Favorite Teeth song is probably Punch or Dwell. Probably. Those were the first ones that I really was listening to a whole lot. Have I seen Twisters? No, I'm going to see it this week. Wait, is it out yet? Stop it. Is it out? I don't think it's out yet. I thought it comes out like this weekend. Why is my app so slow? There's that good old Tallahassee Wi-Fi. How bad did getting my hand done hurt? Pretty fucking bad, not gonna lie. It was an 8-hour session. The first pass, my tattoo artist said was so bad. The first pass was so bad that, he just had to go over it again. I basically had to get the whole tattoo again, but even more extensively. So it was like 8 hours of just, so bad. But yeah, it hurt pretty fucking bad, but it looks great. It's definitely to a point now where anything that I want to touch up, I'm just going to do myself. I couldn't touch up the last one, but this one I can touch up myself. So it'll be good. All right, let's see what else is going on. Is there a particular reason you didn't cover your knuckles? Well, I have knuckle tattoos that say God sent, if you can see. And I didn't want to cover up the scent. So I just left that part. Because otherwise I would just have God on my knuckles and that would be like kind of boring. All right. Well, I gotta go. I just noticed how long I've been doing this. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I'm hoping to put out some more little vlog style stuff pretty soon here. Now that I'm home, I have to go back on the road again for a little bit. But yeah, now that I'm back in Florida, God bless, everything's better. The sun seems to be shining metaphorically and literally. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching and asking your questions. And I will see you guys next time. Bye.